Habari ya jioni Migoda, na habari kwa wale ambao watakuwa wanatusikiliza. Habari gani Migoda?
Niko salama.
Yeah.
Jioni yangu iko njema. Tena niko vizuri sana.
Uko salama lakini?
Niko salama tu, na sikia kama kuna kamziki kanacheza.
Umesikiza kamziki kalikuwa ulikuwa unasikia sauti ya mziki?
Kamziki kalikuwa kanacheza, lakini kwa sasa nafikiria hiyo kamziki kameisha.
Sijui, unajua saa zingine mambo ya teknolojia inakuaga si rahisi vile. Saa zingine unaweza stukia, unaona ni kwamba wewe umeweza, kumbe utastukia tu umewezwa kabisa kabisa.
Hiyo ni teknolojia.
Teknolojia. Ushaelewa hiyo maneno? Watu wanasema hivyo, ushaelewa?
Ushaelewa.
Okay. Hiyo ni lugha ya Mombasa. Sasa kuna nilikuwa nasoma mahali, labda nisikie tafsiri yako. Ni Kiswahili. Nilikwambia mimi saa zingine huwa najaribu kusoma Swahili. Mtu amesema huwezi kuona umuhimu wa pazia mpaka upoteze mlango. Uko na jambo la kusema hapo?
Hapo ningependa tu kusema kulingana na msemo huo, kanakuwa ya kwamba kuna wakati huwezi jua umuhimu wa, kwa mfano kila kitu kiko na umuhimu wake, na kila jambo lazima lichukuliwe bila kuchezea, na hata mtu akijaribu kupatia mawaidha, hata kwa mfano kila mtu akona sababu yake. Sasa wakati unapopuuza mawaidha ama unapopuuza watu wengine katika maisha, lakini kuna siku ambao huenda wakaaga dunia ama huenda wakasafiri kwenda safari ya mbali, na sasa ile wakati unataka kufanya kitu fulani, unaweza kumbuka kwamba laiti ningalijua, ningaliheshimu yule aliyekuwa hapa akinisaidia kwa kazi. Sasa hiyo, ama laiti ningalijua, ningechukua yale mawaidha nilikuwa napatiwa na kakangu Benson. Pengine sasa pazia ni tu mfano ya kwamba wakati umepoteza mlango wako, mlango uende kwa kaa wazi. Sasa afadhali hata pazia kuliko ukaa wazi bila kitu yoyote.
Na ni sawa. Na ukiangalia katika ile tu maisha tu ya kawaida, tuseme kwamba labda mlango inakuwa ni kizuizio, yaani ni kitu ambacho kinaweza zuilia mtu asipoingie kwa haraka, lazima abishe, si ndio? Na mara mingi unaweza pata kwamba labda ukiweka pazia, mtu anaweza dhani hapo nyuma yake kuna mlango.
Anapata
unapata saa zingine ukiipoteza alafu tena mlango isikuwepo, inamaanisha kwamba umepatiana watu huru labda kuingia kwa nyumba yako bila kupiga hodi, ama hata ile pia kuchungulia ajue ni kuna nini ndani, na pia inafanya watu wanawaza, kwani kuna nini hapa ndani, mbona huyu jamaa tumii mlango akotuna pazia? So ni jambo ambalo inaleta mawazo mengi sana sana, ama maswali mengi kwa wale ambao wanaitazama. Pia umezungumzia jambo mzuri sana, kwa sababu pia inaonesha umuhimu ya watu ambao wanatuzunguka, labda watu ambao washatusaidia katika maisha zetu, unaona. Na unapata kwamba tukiwakosa, unapata kwamba utajua umuhimu wao katika maisha. Sana sana ukipata kwamba labda we ni mtu ambaye alikuwa analelewa na babake na mamake, na kwa bahati mbaya baba ama mmoja wa wazazi akuja kapoteza maisha. Baada ya kupoteza ndio sasa unaweza jua umuhimu wa mzazi Unaona, kwa sababu mara mingi unapata kwamba kuna watu ambao saa zingine wanasema kwamba mimi ningalijua ama ningekuwa na mamangu mimi ningemfanyia jambo chochote ama jambo lolote, kwa sababu labda unaona kuna jamaa ako na mamake, labda ako na babake, lakini ile heshima hampatii. Hiyo kunayo. Sasa unajua huyu angejua umuhimu ya kukuwa na wazazi basi. Na kuna pia wengine ambao hawana mama lakini wanaona venye tuseme kwamba marafiki zao wanatendea mamao, labda tuseme kwamba babako umemnunulia kitu, kimekununulia gari. Tumeona wengi wamenunulia watu gari, labda yako na hiyo uwezo lakini hana mtu wa kununulia gari kama mzazi. So ndio maana naweza sema kwamba huwezi kuona umuhimu ndio maana mimi nasema hivyo, na ni kauli tu, kila mtu anaweza itafsiri venye yeye anaelewa. Unaona, sisemi kwamba yale tunasema ndio ya ukweli. Hata wewe ambao unatutazama pia uko na nafasi nzuri kutafsiri, na yale utatafsiri ni kweli kulingana na wewe venye unaielewa, kwa sababu hakuna katika dunia hii ama katika dunia ambayo sisi tunaishi, huwezi sema kwamba wewe ndio unaweza kuwa ni mtu ambaye ni sahihi katika jambo lolote ambalo unasema kwamba lazima watu waende na kauli yako. Si kweli. Mimi naamini kila mtu amepatiwa uwezo na Mwenyezi Mungu kutafakari na kutafsiri jambo jinsi yeye mwenyewe anaielewa, na ni kweli kulingana naye, so huwezi pinga. Sawa sawa ndugu yangu, ama hapo uko na shida kidogo?
Ningependa tu kuongeza jambo moja. Wakati umepeana mfano wako, umetumia mifano za mlango. Kwa mfano, mlango, kuna sifa za mlango kama kupiga hodi, hiyo ni moja ya sifa ya mlango. Na pia moja ya sifa za mlango ni kwa mtu kuchungulia. Sasa unapata mlango si ya nyumba pekee. Sasa wakati inapokuwa na pazia, unapata hata kwa mfano ukienda kwa choo, ukienda utapata mtu utauliza nani yako ndani. Sasa inazuia wewe kuingia tu upate msee yako ndani. Na vile vile pia kama kunayo pazia kwa nyumba, pengine ushatoka bafuni, umeoga, unataka kujivaa, bado uko uchi, mtu kuja kuuliza kwamba naweza ingia, nani yako ndani, unamwambia ngoja kiasi, bado najivaa, kuliko kuingia tu hivi akupate kama uko uchi. Sasa kupiga hodi na kuchungulia ni sifa nzuri za mlango. Sasa mimi ningependa kuongezea hayo.
Asante sana. Nimekubaliana na wewe 100%. Thank you so much for everyone who is watching us. Today we want to have a conversation this evening about what is happening. Today there was a plane crash. And is this a plane? Yeah, it's like a helicopter crash that happened in Muyoko, that is in Kiambu County. And full information is not out, but it's saying that it belonged to KDF. We are still waiting for the security operators to give us the full news so that we can talk of what we know. But there's something that I really want to say, especially that as a country we still need to watch out. You know, when there is an incident, especially like the one that we had of that crash, what usually happens is that I've seen like majority of the population, my brother, they usually go to the place where it has happened and they surround without looking at or without taking in consideration their safety. Because in a situation like that, that place you need first of all to check your safety, and that is something that as in our country Kenya, or we as Kenyans, what usually happens, huwa tunakimbilia sehemu ya matukio, hata kama ni mbaya. Labda tunapata kwamba kuna jibizano za risasi kati ya polisi na wahuni, utapata kwamba watu wataenda kwa mlio ya risasi, lakini unapata wawezi enda waone kwamba how safe it is for me, you know, and how can I find my safety. But you find that majority of the times we usually go to the especially the place of incident, which is sometimes not good, because like we've seen cases whereby the trailers who are carrying who are transporting this fuel, or you might call it fuel, when there's a breakdown or there's an accident, you will find people still go and wants to get the fuel for free. But what we've witnessed, there are so many incidences in Kenya whereby people have lost their life just because they were going there to get the product, you know. So we don't kind of like put our safety first. That is one thing that I also noticed. And another thing also I noticed, even with the security apparatus, you know, when incident happen like that, you should secure the place. And how do you secure the place? You secure the place so you make sure that the population do not get closer to the place. But what I saw is that everybody, you know, people were very close, you know. So in incidents, sometimes you can go and you find like such like a plane, you know, they are very inflammable. You never know what can happen. They can crash, then maybe stay there for maybe 30 minutes. Then after 30 minutes, it blows out. What happened? Within that 30 minutes, there will be group of people around there. And what will happen? So you will end up having more casualties. So I think that is something that we also need to learn for public safety. Is also about the responses too. How do we respond, especially the how do we respond to issues, especially from the government side, or how do we respond, fire brigade and all that. So that is something that I think as a country or as a community we need to work on. What do you have anything to say about that?
Yeah, we have made it to be normalcy with the country, whereby most of the time you find out whenever there is any accident, be it helicopter crash, be it vehicles on the roadside, the first thing the people who are likely to be closer to the vicinity, they first find out what type of product was being ferried. If it is petroleum, you find them going there with vibuyus to collect more petrols without looking at their safety. And but sometimes, you know, there was a time I was using the Mai road, that escarpment. Then we had like 3 accidents of petroleum. If the people were collecting the views, they were going to the Mai center, calling other motorbikes people that there is a deal up there. So they were coming in large number without looking at their safety. And also, if it's a product, maybe oil or maybe sugar, you find out people will go and collect first. They collect, then their safety come later. But there was a time at Nakuru Highway when people went to collect petrol, they were consumed. You understand it happened some years back.
That was the era of Kibaki. I can remember.
The era of Kibaki. And people, even with that example from the history, people still have never learned. Not that everybody, there are people who are very cautious. They can't take risk to go to those places. But you find that most of the people usually go and take whatever has been left. And even when a building falls, you find people rush to look at the debris where they find anything that might. But remember, the building has collapsed. So it's something that people should be cautious about. And people should not be I think one of the things that causes such is the also cost of living, whereby people can see an opportunity that where there is an accident, or there is a collapse of the house, or there is an aeroplane crash, maybe the people or the passengers were having some goodies. Remember at the time when we had a plane crash in Gong Forest, which was carrying the internal security CS, but that Oro Jordan Saitoti. The people who went first said that they collected money and they collected expensive watch. So maybe that was my motivator, that whenever there's an accident, there is some remains they can find from the victims, and also they are valuable remains from the victims, And in the case of the helicopter for the military, some
Yeah.
people also rush to go and get some guns, or maybe they want a shotgun. So I think that
Okay.
might be the reason why people do risk to get something.
Okay, and that one talks about even the safety, because and that's where we call in the first responders, and the first responders are like the police and all that, and even you in at the place of incident. If there's a possibility that you can save a life, yeah, majority of the times you find that we tend to go for products and valuables, but we forget about the life. The life comes second. So you find that people will first of all collect the product, then is when they're going to think, where was the driver or where are the people? So majority of time, so we can think of life first, and then after life we can go for the products, if which I don't recommend, especially when you encounter flammable products. You may end up consuming yourself. But Sachangwan, I think it was Sachangwan, it was one of the big history, especially casualties in the country, and I think it was during the Kibaki presidency, if I'm not wrong. Okay, Miguda, also we have, remember, few weeks or a month, if I may not be right, the Prime Minister talked about um, constituting a committee that is going to interrogate the 10-point agenda that was signed between the MOU, the 10-point agenda between UDA and ODM. But then he talked about it. Sifuna also talked about it, and it is here with us. Yesterday, President and the Right Honorable Prime Minister appointed the committee. And if you look at the committee, notable figures here, I know like two people that have interacted with their speeches or with their writings. I know Agnes Zani. Remember, Agnes Zani she's a strong ODM member, I think, until today. Fatuma Ibrahim, I don't know more about Fatuma. Kevin Kiare, a member. We have Gabriel Oguda. I know Gabriel Oguda. We've not personally, but I've interacted with his literature, especially sometimes he's a columnist. He usually does a very good columnist. We have Javas Bigambo, is also I don't know him either in internet, but now this is what a joint secretariat called by executive secretariats from UDA and ODM has also been established to support the operations. The committee will be fully funded and facilitated by both ODM and UDA. So it means the money that is going to facilitate all the services is not going to come from government. And how will we know? That is what they're telling us. In executing its mandate under the guidance of principles, the committee shall undertake inclusive and extensive consultation with members of the public. It's coming back to the public again. Members of the public. So those are some of the notable that you have to note. Like they are not going only to interrogate this, but they're also going to include the public, members of the public, and all relevant stakeholders, including arms of government, government departments, independent commissions, civil society, religious institutions, and the private sector, to ensure that implementation of MOU is informed by diverse perspective and address the needs and aspiration of all Kenyans. The committee will commence its work immediately and will submit progress report to the principal every 2 months to a joint Kenya Kwanza ODM parliamentary group on quarterly basis. The parliamentary group will hold its first sitting on August 18th, 2025. A final comprehensive report detailing the status of the MOU's implementation will be released to the public on March 7th, 2026, marking 1 year anniversary of its signing. You see that?
Yeah, I see that.
So which means this is going to take 1 year for us to get the full report. And what is your take if you read on if you listen to what I read? This is what is your take on this? The implementation, because like they want to see on how this is going to be implemented.
It is, to me, it's something that I can say it's an affair between ODM and UDA, because not that everyone in the country is in ODM and UDA.
Yeah.
People are in different political parties. People are in different associates. And when two parties have come together to discuss the Nadco report and also the dialogue, they are at liberty to associate and do their things. And it should not look like it's a Kenyan thing whereby Kenyans have decided. To me, I'm giving it an angle whereby it is a political party affair. And two political parties have structured, and even the task force, people like Gabriel, people like Agnes Zani, those are ODM people, and also people like Kiarie, Fatuma Ibrahim are UDA people. So to me, it's something that two parties have decided to discuss on their relationship. It should not affect other people. It should not affect other political party. It should not affect the operation of the state. Let it just do them internally. But how are you going to ensure that it's adopted by the people of Kenya? Because now, if you bring it to the people, to the public, who are the public and who are not the public? Is it that the political parties who never participated in it are not going to be public, or is only the political parties who participated in it are going to be public? It's just a way of making people think in a direction and don't think outside the box. Then the issue of implementation, a year to implement it. It's like from now next year, August, is when we're going to have the full implementation of the report of the outcome. The question is, what is it they have for us on August? Is it a referendum? And if it's a referendum, is it coming from the people or from political parties? The question we need to understand. And what is the end game? Because from next year, we have 1 year to election. So have we sorted out the issues? Or are we going to do it a way whereby, what if it is not implemented and adopted by the people and we have wasted the entire year? So I just want to be very clear. We can't interfere with the structure and the political party setups that you did ODM. People should also ensure that it doesn't derail anything. The people can still continue politicking. People can still continue to associate. People can still continue to make formation, coalition, critique. It should not stop the usual or the normalcy of the country. I think there are people that now we focus on the task force, and now we forgot corruption, we forgot accountability, we forgot nepotism, we forgot exclusivity, we forgot social justice, we forgot democracy, we forgot human rights. No. As they're doing their things, we should focus on issue of accountability of the leaders. I think the leaders let us not be confused, whereby we focus on what's going on between the two political parties, and the entire country is such a big whereby you can't concentrate on only two political parties.
Okay, thank you so much. And there's something that Laban is raising here. It's a very good question, and I also want him to also to tell us, at Miguda, inclusion is a Kenyan issue. It is true, is a Kenyan issue. But now, even if you look at the task force, how it is, has it included and have that face of Kenya as we speak currently? Because if we are talking about the issues, especially that are being raised by the Nadco report, inclusivity in all spheres of government, government institution, if I bring you back to the 10-point agenda, these things affect everybody. But if it comes a point whereby even those who are given this position, to be very honest, they are politically affiliated. Yeah. What if they could have decided to make it an independent, whereby we bring civil societies, yeah, in it, because like we bring people who have neutrality, because these are the people who, if they're given time to investigate, they don't have political affiliation, and they cannot write, because they will say the truth how it is. Because like you see, like this one, especially as we know how politics is, you will be very kind with your wording so that to not to offend your masters. Or what do you think, Laban? Yeah, Laban is saying Laban is saying at Miguda, it is about development than shareholding. Yes, but what does the Constitution say? Because like everything that we are talking about, all these are anchored in our Constitution. Does it mean that our Constitution is not working? So, or what makes us to reach a point whereby, because it's just a conversation that we are going to have, because it's going to take 1 year. So we are talking about the constitutionality, how they were constituted, the committee. If you look at those who are in the committee, these are great men of the country who share the same vision with they're aligned with a political party, and this is something that is signed between two political parties. So many people would think that, okay, this is something that will only affect those who are allied to president and those who are allied to the right honorable prime minister, and that's why it has been brought. That's how people think. And how will you convince the whole nation that, okay, this is for the nation, and if it is for the nation, we want to see a representation that people always talk about? Is it fully represented? Hello, Miguda.
I agree with what Laban is saying, my good friend.
Yeah.
Firstly, let me also say hello to Laban. I agree with Laban. I agree with him. But
Yeah.
I'm trying to explain my point that we are 54 plus million Kenyans. We are a multi-party democracy state. Therefore, there are things like Nadco and maybe conclave dialogue. My question is, in fact, I'm asking a question. Does it mean that when I propose a thing, it's a Nadco, what about other people? Because me, I might be Miguda proposing in Nadco.
Yeah.
What about Jerry? What about Laban? What about Douglas? What about Makobura? What about Joseph? What about Barack? What are they proposing? What do they want? And the question I'm asking, if you are multi-party, does it mean that the only ODM and UDA can decide the fate of the country? Does it mean that only two political parties has the monopoly to decide the fate of the country? Can't we have a thing whereby even Wajakoya party, Tingiza Mti, can be part and parcel, and 4 people sitting in a room trying to discuss the issue of the country? How? That's a question I'm trying to ask. Then you're telling us a year of implementation. Implementing what? Because what about pending issues? What about accountability? What about human rights violation? What about social justice? What about development? You are stated. What about inclusion? Those are the questions I'm asking, because, and also, let us not look at this as if that this is now an arm of government, or this is the constitution. Other than those things, they are forming like task force or conclave. We have a constitution. We have a government. We have a judiciary. We have a parliament. We have an executive. What are they doing? And what are these people doing? What is we are what is the purpose of this thing? What are they doing actually? And we have the judiciary, we have the parliament, and we have also the executive and the people. And when you bring it to the public, now which public are you bringing it with? Because how do you know that these are the public, these are not the public? And how are you sure that this is now a consensus by the Kenyan people? And we agree that we can handle these things through institutions, because we have the constitution, rather than doing it backdoor, forming a task force. This is a political party affair. That's what I'm trying to say. This is a political party affair between the ruling party and the ODM. And I have said very clearly that I'm supporting the association.
Yes.
I support because that is their right in the constitution. They have to associate at whatever capacity. Let them associate. We are not opposed to the association. Let them associate. We support them fully. But as for the people, we are also saying, okay, we are raising issues of accountability, human rights violation, social justice, inclusion, democracy. Those are things we are trying to raise as a people.
Okay, and this is what Laban says at Miguda. Ruto will be in power for the remaining 7 years to release the body. You know, I agree, because, like, to me, one thing that especially that I'm geared towards. You know, sometimes sometimes for me myself, I usually don't care who becomes the president. You know, but like if we can have proper policies in place that make sure the country works, then there's no problem, because it doesn't matter who becomes the president. You know, so and not of good faith, but I think, like, when we're having such like conversation, we should open up and say that, look, it as a country, look at in the 10 years to come, or maybe 50 years to come, what are we going to put in place such that we run away from what we've been experiencing? Because, like, right now, talking about inclusivity in all spheres of public life, the inclusivity gospel, this is something that has always been preached for quite a long time, and we've seen it. And if you want to see on how it works, look at how even the employment is being done in the government sector. Now, you will find there is unfair distribution of employment. So how are you going to interrogate this? And it's something that has been normalized. It is something that has been in place for many years. Remember, during the administration of President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta and President William Ruto as his deputy, there was unfair distribution of employment, whereby there are communities that were, when you look at the population in the departments, they were much higher than compared to other communities. When you look at even today in the government of President William Ruto, when you look at the parastatal, how are you going to investigate that? And you know that there is something that is happening. What report are you going to do, and what are you going to do about it? You know, so I don't think like it is who is the president, but is how do we as a country find a way that we have equal distribution of resources. That includes the resources, includes the employment, that everybody is included. And it is something that has been here for us for ages and ages and ages, and is not running away, or is not going away anytime soon. So that is what I think. If Laban could tell me, without looking at who becomes the president, or even if the President William Ruto is going to do 20 years, you know, but how can we make sure that we have how do we make sure that we fight against corruption?
Let me respond to that issue. Actually, me, I don't even know who Ruto is. I don't even care who become the president. That's not my business. I never voted for Uhuru for 10 years, and I was living. I was in Kenya. I never voted for Quebec for 10 years. I was living. I was in Kenya. So to me, who become the president is not my issue. I don't care. Even Ruto can serve for 30 years. Even he can be a life president. I don't care. Let him do whatever he wants to do. But my concern is, I'm saying about, and I was very clear. I'm talking.
Oh, Miguda is there. Miguda, did you lose? Okay, Laban Museli, just tell me on how we can work on this as we still wait for Miguda. Let's forget about President William Ruto being the president or running for all that, but we are looking at the implementation that has been put in place. How is it going to change if maybe there are people who have dissenting views on it, on how maybe it's formulated? So that is something that maybe Laban you can assist, because like that that's what we need to know. And we're not saying that the committee, we're not saying that the committee is bad. No, we are just asking that what is the end goal of it all? Will we actually achieve all that has been challenges that we've been going through as a country in terms of leadership, talking about corruption, talking about protecting and strengthening devolution, which is almost 15 years and is going to be celebrated in Homa Bay this year. How can we strengthen that? How can we do that? Because like now it requires that we enact laws, or goes to the parliament, where they've been given the mandates and powers on how to enact laws on how to deal with this. Full implementation of Nadco report. Actually, among the 10-point agenda, one of the most sensitive one is about the Nadco report. And the reason why the Nadco report is the most sensitive one, remember, the Nadco report, when the Nadco report came as a result of protest immediately after the ruling that was made in the Supreme Court. And there was the Sufuria movement came, where a majority of Kenyans, or the majority of ODM to say, and Azimio, were putting on sufurias and protesting of cost of living. And if you go through the Nadco report, among other things was that, if I'm not but like I can paraphrase, there was that the government should reduce the expenditure by 50, the foreign trips and all that. That was one of the issues. The other issue, that when it comes to cost of living, they were not able to agree, because they said the cost of living, that depends on the government, should know on what to do. There was the creation of official opposition slot, deputies and all that. So, and when you look at this, we are all going to referendum at the same time, because like if it is implemented and those positions are created, which means we have to go for referendum for us to create that office, because even the office, the Prime Cabinet Secretary that Honorable Musalia Mudavadi is holding, that office is unconstitutional. It doesn't exist. Miguda, let me see.
Okay. I was saying, I have no problem with the presidency. I have no problem with who become even my governor or my area MP or MC. To me, it doesn't affect me in any way.
Yeah.
What affects me is what I'm talking about, that issues of inclusion affects me, development affects me, social justice affects me, constitution affects me. There are so many, the structure of government, that is the arm government, the judiciary affects me, parliament affects me, executive affects me. So in fact, I have no problem with Ruto, and I have never been having a problem with him, because I've told you before, I personally I've been living under Uhuru. I never supported him. I've been living under Kibaki. I never supported him. And in fact, I was not there under Moi, and Moi served. So this is not a big deal. Even Ruto will take 24 years, he will go. There's no problem with him serving. The question at stake here we are asking is that this issue of Nadco report, or whatever report, Nadco to me came as a result when the Azimio protested the results about opening the server, cost of living. They went and had a dialogue in the name of Nadco. Where were the people? The question I'm asking, how do you know that the Azimio are the people? Are they representative of the people? Who wrote those Nadco reports? Those are the questions we're trying to ask. Now the question I'm asking, implementing it as what? For which purpose? That's why I was saying it's a political party driven agenda. To me, it's not something that I should focus on as a citizen. That Nadco report. Me and my concern is very clear that I'm looking at the judiciary, I'm looking at the parliament and the executive. I'm holding each and every arm of government to accountable. Whatever is happening at the Nadco report or the report, I don't care. So that's what I'm trying to say.
Okay. So and thank you so much for that. And we will be here waiting to see how implementation is going to sail through. And we will keep on updating you on the views of the people. Laban, thank you so much for your contribution, especially on the comment section on the discussion. That is that. Now, before we go into our main discussion today, because those are just the highlights of the day and what are the conversation that people are having. You know, Miguda, there's something that I'm following up, especially how Tanzania. They're just about to go to election to elect their leaders, including the president. That is going to be in the month of October. That is like around 1 or 1.5 months away. But there's something that I've learned, I've seen. Should I say that there's something that is happening in Tanzania, especially with Chadema. You find that the members, especially from opposition side, especially Chadema, because like other parties, I think they have that leverage. They don't get so much harsh treatment, especially from the government. You know, they complain that they cannot hold their rallies peacefully without interference, especially from the security apparatus. The other time I was watching this lady, I think she's vying, and she's saying that she had like people in her compound. I don't know where, almost 10 people, and the policeman came and ruffled those people up. And she said something that we are all Tanzanian. You know, and you know, this is the first time in the history of Tanzania whereby the biggest opposition party is not going to fail a candidate for the election. So, and you, where is that democracy? Because like they say that nchi yetu ni nchi ya demokrasia. Where's that democracy?
Kwa maoni yangu sidhani kama the Republic of Tanzania is a democratic state, because first, you don't allow your opponent to compete. You want to compete by yourself.
Yes.
If you must compete by yourself, now, what is the essence of elections? What's the essence of democracy? Because democracy, as per the definition, is the rule by the people. And this is whereby you don't want people to rule. You want to rule by yourself. There is no space given to people to exercise their democratic right. There is no space given to people to vie, because by vying is one of the democratic rights we are exercising. And also, you talked about the issue of detention, whereby some candidates are being detained. So there's no even that room of association, of meet up people. You are being detained so that your opponent can campaign against you. So to me, it is not a fair treatment to the opponents.
So so you feel it, and have you realized also something that also happens, that when they talk, especially like something that I'm not seeing with Kenyans, that they have to, in their in their statement, they have to include the name of the president.
The Tanzanian people.
Yeah.
Those are the signs. Some people might disagree with me, which they are entitled to. But those are signs of dictatorship, whereby you want to worship the person, the name of the president. The president is just a human being like you. There's no room for worshiping anybody here. We are only subscribing to worship God, but not human being. And this issue whereby people are not allowed to assemble. If you are trying to assemble, they are being tear gas, they are being chased away. It's just they fear competition, they fear civic education to be granted to the people, they fear to be accountable, they fear to be critic. So I believe that is, even people might disagree, which I'm not in dispute, but to me, that is unfairness when it comes to the democratic space. You are treating your opponent. It's like you are deciding by yourself for the people, And you're saying, and you understand that if it's a democratic state there, it should be by the people, for the people, a rule by them, for them, exclusively by the people, not an individual or a police officer or a military officer. Then if that's the case,
Yeah.
then they just talked about maybe it should be a dictatorial state, not a democratic state.
Mm. Okay. Thank you so much, Miguda, and for that. Now, that was just by the way. Now, let's switch gears and look at what is happening, especially in opposition, because like so many development has emerged. From yesterday, we had the Jubilee had an offer to the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga only on one condition: if you don't support the President William Ruto, we can make you president. Or we can offer you, or we can support you. And you know, Jubilee, to be sincere, they supported Raila in the last general election, and President William Ruto ended up winning that election. And also that begs the question, because all along Jubilee has always insisted from Jeremiah Kioni that Fred Matiangi is their preferred candidate. So what is this about switching of the presidential candidate and saying that, okay, we can just only if you do that? What do you learn, or what do you see from that?
Or what I'm seeing from that, I can just say that you understand that we are in a political environment, and in game of politics, there is possibilities. Me, I usually believe that it's a game of possibilities. There's no impossible in politics,
Yeah.
and that's why I'm not even in any hurry or in any early judgment that I am saying Ruto is a one term or half term or regarding Gachagua. That's why I can't critique Ruto as if it is my funeral. I can't
Yeah.
do that because you can critique him, but at the end of the day, these people will come back together and form alliance. Vis-a-vis, I can't crucify Gachagua as if it was my affair. No, I can't do that one. That's not the kind of politics I'm doing. Me, I'm very clear that it is a game of possibilities. But, and I cannot be coerced by anybody that whenever you speak, you must critique Ruto. Whenever you speak, you must critique Gachagua. I'm very clear. I'm basing my arguments on the issues, things like I've told you about accountability, social justice, human rights. Personally, I don't care. I don't know them. That's why this issue you are seeing about opposition trying to front right now, you understand, Jubilee, they say they want Matiangi. But Jubilee, having Matiangi as their preferred candidate, they are supporting ODM outside Jubilee. That's the position of the party. That's the position of the party leader, Uhuru Kenyatta. So it means like, Uhuru Kenyatta is the party leader right now. Matiangi coming to Jubilee to vie, he's gonna be the party leader. He want to kick Uhuru as the party leader. So maybe the Uhuru's allies within Jubilee, like Kioni, are not ready to lose the Jubilee to Gusii region. That's why in your first time, if you are in Jubilee and you end up abusing Raila or treating Raila in a way that is not honorable, then next time is in your camp. So you have to support him. That's why, as a young people, whenever we do our politics, let us not adapt those old habits whereby you base your argument on abuse, you base your argument on personality, even family issues. Just focus on issues based, because this politics, either way, you can find yourself in either camp. You can find yourself tomorrow. Right now, you can, because I'm a Kenyan, I'm entitled to work. If I do application and I'm granted the position to work, I cannot decline to work because it is the Kasongo of the president. Whether Kasongo is the president or not, and I've passed my interview, I must work. If tomorrow I pass my interview in parliament, maybe as a parliamentary service commission, I must work. If I pass my interview to work in the office of the president or office of the deputy president or office of the interior, I must work. I can't decline because Ruto is the president. I don't care about, that's why I tell you about this issue of Ruto, that is not my business. And also, even if the president or not, I'm a Kenyan. I have a right to work in my country. I have a right to work in the government. So either way, it doesn't help me to bring this issue of maybe Ruto, Gachagua. No, that's not my business. The point here is, as the people, we need to understand that when Raila Odinga has been working with Ruto, the same way Raila Odinga worked with Uhuru, they say Uhuru was better than Ruto. The same way he was better than Ruto, in the same way. So to me, possibility, that's what has been driving me. It's possible that Raila can be fronted by opposition. So if you don't like it, there's that room for association. You can also opt out, and that's why if you can find Raila coming to opposition and they endorse him, Gachagua might feel uncomfortable. Gachagua might stand back to go and work with Ruto. So when Gachagua works with Ruto now, so who will be stupid or a fool? The person who was criticizing Ruto because Ruto and Gachagua fall apart. There's nothing like falling apart in politics, and there's no permanent enemy and friend in politics. That's why whenever that opportunity can present itself, like now Jubilee are endorsing Raila, Raila might go for it because politics. So sometimes we need to understand that it's always about politics.
Okay. You know, if you look at the recent past, actually, you look at the tactics that President William Ruto has employed in his politics, you know, there are quite a number of people who were not in agreement with the way he was running the country in terms of his management of the office or the management of the country. There was those who were calling one term, but now, and that effect of Rigathi Gachagua to impeachment. So you find that there were so many dissenting views or dissenting opinions, especially on President William Ruto. But when you look at now the way President William Ruto is trying to encounter those, one of the things that he's using, actually, he has gone back to his older strategies when he was the deputy, where people would come to his current house and even to Sugoi, charge people and all manner of, because we've seen president now inviting people to State House. Today he had like majority of border they call it border business leaders, and he told them how he's going to parliament to change some laws on the tax, you know, and how they will be buying the motorbikes at around 95,000 Kenya shillings and paying a deposit of 9,000, you know, on how, you know. And also, you've seen also Kindiki also is going out on the empowerment issue, even including the broad-based allies, you know, to encounter what is happening. Do you see the fall, especially in the opposition, especially not necessarily the leaders, but the best that they were holding, that these are the best that speak our language? Do you see that fall is coming or has already started?
Okay, from your question, I can say that, remember previously, not even previously, many a times, the people like the border people, Mwamboga, have been used as the people to be as example when you want to look for votes. Maybe you want to communicate to a bigger constituency of people who are suffering, or the hustler in quote. They tend to be victims, because you understand that at the market it looks like a school whereby you are in a group and you tend to think the same and have same views. Vis-a-vis in border, you have the same opinions, same views, mko na chama zenu hapa na pale. So you need to be in a group. So it's very easy to communicate with you people, because you resemble like people in a uniform. Now, previously you said about nitainua mtu boda Mwamboga, that Mwamboga will have a supermarket and the boda will have a mood. Now we have mood, that of George Ruto. Now, if you're going to have a mood that is matatu as a boda, Mwamboga will have a supermarket. Now, the reality is there's no Mamboga with the supermarket, there's no Boda Boda with the Matatu, and Asla Fund is also dysfunctional. What do?
Yeah.
As a politician, you camouflage.
Mm-hmm.
What he's doing right now is camouflaging, whereby he's using the same people, but the different tactics. Now, he's inviting them to State House, which was not the case. He invited them to State House. And also right now, when I like me, I went to check a motorbike price.
Yeah.
Deposit is 60Ks and
Mm-hmm.
the cash is 195K. It is now damn expensive for someone to purchase a new bike. But now it's camouflaging by telling that okay, deposit will be 9Ks and cash will be 95. Like now, when I was having 60Ks for deposit, I just borrowed 30K from a bank or from somebody, then I had my cash motorbike. So I'll say, okay, Kasongo has done a good job. Kasongo actually has made me to purchase a motorbike. Or now I'm paying loan, but my deposit is 90K. So he has camouflaged and he has captured the attention of the motorbike industry. And the same way is camouflaging with the empowerment program, because the empowerment program is specifically the women. And understand that the women, Mama Mboga, they have those circles, those groups. So when they go there, camouflaging by giving them those monies is empowering them. So to me, Ruto has successfully camouflaged, but he has just retained his constituents of Mamboga, Boda, but in another way, not like what he used before, but is still having that base of Mamboga and Boda, not in Mount Kenya, because Mamboga and Boda are not only in Mount Kenya, but they are spread across the country. So he's going to a new constituency like Nyanza and Western, because those empowerment programs are particularly in Nyanza and Western and also in Coastal, but with the same narrative, but in a camouflage manner, whereby the prices of the motorbike has been reduced and now empowering women. So that's my take.
Okay, and like when I read the president, we want to have a plan where all ordinary citizens can afford to own a border motorbikes, which previously cost 195,000, will now retail at 95,000. And I'm coming to that. When what makes the border, especially for motorbikes, to go up? How can government, because like do we have manufacturing farm that is producing this? Because like there are cases whereby if at all we were the producers of this products, especially like let's say for example TVS and all that, the motorbike, that I hope you're not importing them, we're the producers. So when we produce, then you can bring tax break to these companies, in that the products that they're going to use will be not taxable, no free tax. So when you do that, when you don't tax them, so which means and the products or the materials are produced locally, yeah, so which means the cost will have to go down. But in the event that we are importing this, including the materials or the spare parts, even if you give them tax free, it cannot go from what the president is saying. If one cost 91,000 is almost 200,000, and you want to cut cost by 50%, does it mean that the government is going to bear those costs?
I get your point. Actually, I've tried to look for a border myself. Like I've told you, I went to Watu, and also because currently Watu is the one offering. We have different farms. So when I went to Watu, they told me I should pay 195Ks. That's a fact. That one president has said clearly that it costs 195Ks. And when you want to deposit, you have to pay 60Ks. That is, you are taking for loans. So I was undecided. And right now, he said that you are going to take for loan, you deposit 9Ks, and cash is 95. To me, it doesn't add up, because from what I know or from what I've gathered, we do import. We are not reproducing the raw materials in the country. And even in the case of the electric bikes, we import the parts and we assemble them here. And the people assembling them are also the Indian brothers, not even Kenyans. Those people were the one Gachagua was crying about, the Rajesh and the Adani and the Adey, those ones. They are the people who are having this electric bike. And electric bike, it is good to in urban centers like Nairobi, because you understand it's more of a Uber, whereby it attracts many people and also it attracts many customers. But if you use an electric bike, maybe in Eldoret or Nakuru, you might not earn as per the people, and maybe in Kisumu. So to me, that's the question we should ask. The question you are asking actually is a good one. Who is going to cost this import? The import cost is going to come from the government or from taxpayers' money, or from which one? And there are some urgent things like education. We don't. There's no agency of border, and there's no agency of motorbike. There's agency of education. If that money can be allocated to education, could be better. And if that money of empowerment can be allocated to education, to me is better. There's no need of empowering women and also dealing with the border in a camouflage manner, but we are forgoing the education thing. So I think we need to ask that this money which has been allocated to the import of border and also be allocated to the empowering women, can we divert it to education so that we can't have those capitation or being reduced by the CS for treasury? That is my view as a Kenyan, and that's why I need to be in Nadco table so that I can view those points. I also need to be in the conclave conference to view my points, and that's why I was saying, before we say that your conclave or dialogue, it is perfect. There are things that other Kenyans must be asked. That as for you, what do you say? Like for me, education is paramount. It should be free. That's what I can lay down whenever I meet Mr. President or the conclave people. Discuss the issue of education first. Let education be free before you delve these issues of the cost of importation or the empowering women. So to me, I believe that as per things stand right now, if there could be a manufacturing industry whereby we have the raw materials for motorbike, I could have known. But for now, there isn't. So it means we import even the parts.
You know, something that even the president is what president says, look, to you it looks very lucrative, but you know, if I bring you back during the campaign, actually the platform under which president campaigned was the same border guys, but he was taken in 2 years and now he's coming again with this plan. Remember also president talked about the issue of the gas, whereby he was saying that the gas will be bought at around 300 shillings, you know. So there's so many promises that the president has made during his campaign, even right now. But now, when you look at it again, you look at the population of Kenya, not everybody wants to become a border, you know. Because if you say that everybody wants to become a border, not everybody wants to become a border. How then will you make sure that you balance it off with other people, especially other Kenyans who are yearning for employment, but they don't want to be in the border sector, because not everybody can be there? What plans do you have for them? Maybe if to
that's a very good input, another good input, because like even the issue of the gases, you understand that there's those people preferred firewood, like they like using firewood. Those people who are in the village, they like using charcoal. Now there are those people who prefer that when they are cooking, there are some meals they must use charcoal, there are some meals they must use firewood, and there are some meals they must use gas. So even if you reach 300, you are going to help them, because for them, when they want to warm their water, they must use firewood. Those who can only eat ugali from firewood, and the one from the gas they cannot eat. So to me, even when we're having a very huge gathering like funerals, or we have camp meetings, we have weddings, those people prefer to use firewood or charcoal. And even some people prefer to eat chapati which has been cooked by charcoal, from charcoal, not the gas or the firewood. So sometimes not everybody is interested in whatever you are offering. Like the issue of motorbike. Not everybody is interested in the industry of border. And maybe you are dealing with the current boda people, but not even, maybe they think that even the jobless youth, some of them are not interested, some are interested. So you maybe by reducing it, it can attract people. Some people can go to boda and they can be busy. They will not protest. They will not be online. I don't think that's the case, because, like we have said, not everyone is interested. Maybe some people cannot do it because of the health. Maybe if they drive boda, they can be affected by the pneumonia. Some people cannot do it because they just don't like it. Some people also prefer that, okay, whatever I'm doing right now can give me more income than boda, because right now I can earn maybe 5K per day. But when I go to boda, maybe 2K per day, but I'm paying loan. So it's like I'm going to earn 1,000 or maybe services. So it's so maybe tired, tiresome. So not that it's going to spread across the country that because you have proposed a 95K and a 19 deposit for loan, now we are, all of us are going to purchase boda. No, we are not going to purchase boda. The people who purchase boda will purchase. The people will not purchase. But remember also, before the price rise to 195K, it used to be even 19, like in 2022. It was 14K deposit. You could deposit 14Ks, and cash was around 123. So all of a sudden, the price just rose. So I think maybe sometimes we need to make decisions that can affect people, not targeting a certain consequence, thinking that it's going to be applicable across the country.
Okay, thank you. But now, when you flip the coin, you would say that is going to be a relief, especially for the brothers who are interested in that industry, because if the cost can go down by around 50%, especially, that is a good thing. It can be a relief, especially for those, those who are interested. So we cannot only look at other factors. We can also look at the benefit of it all. If president can actualize this, especially for the majority of young men who are in the village who cannot raise around 200,000, they can now raise 100,000 and paying 7,000 and some hundred. That is a relief, if to say, to be fair enough.
No, it is not a relief because it's not relief because right now I might be having a boda right now, and I'm having one that I'm servicing loan right now. If I'm servicing loan, that I am owning it, I'm the owner, and I'm servicing loan by myself.
Yeah.
And there is a new proposal of 9. So should I stop servicing my loan? I go to pick another loan, or should I stop servicing my loan? I go and pick one for the cash. So it's going to disable me. So I need to first I conclude my loan.
Yeah.
Then I'll review it later. Maybe when I'll review it, it will be shoot. It can shoot maybe. Therefore, you find also I am the owner of the bike. Then there's someone possessing my bike. So the one possessing my bike, maybe I'm having a one which I bought at 195. So it's giving me like a 300 per day. So should I stop this person? I purchase another one. So maybe I've run out of cash. So to me, there are people currently servicing loan. Why can't he say that, okay, I've cleared your loans, such things, a new proposal. But this issue, you are making a good proposal, but the victims are actually currently in a problem.
But you know, my brother, it is this way, because like you especially now, if you compare yourself, those who actually benefited especially from the program of President Kibaki, especially when it comes to free primary education, and now if you compare them to what now they are offering, so there are things that usually they come with opportunity. So if it is not falling within your bracket, then you will have to live with what you already signed for. But now for those who are now coming in, especially for the boda, or those who are, let's say, like those boda men who kind of have the fleets, or we call them the fleets of motorbikes. So this is an opportunity for you to get another, or maybe two of them, bearing in mind that now at least the cost of the purchase price has gone down, even including the the amount we pay for deposit. So you kind of like expand your fleet territory, especially, or your fleet business when it comes to the border, if based on the what president is offering. So to me, what I think is this: actually, if what president said today can be actualized by the purchase price reducing to around 95, that is 50% of the total cost of the total buying cost. So to me, I feel it is a relief to them. But now what we have to look at, we are looking at long term. Yeah, and we are looking at long term, especially. It's going to be relief on the border guys who are getting these motorbikes. But what about the producer? Will producer be at a position going at a loss just because the president? I said that because, like, even if you look at it economically, that you go to the parliament and take out the taxes that they take, I don't think that even if you take off the taxes, the price can go up to 50% reduction, because there's some other costs that come with it. It's not only the taxes. We have storage cost that when they store that, they will have to charge you for that. Or what do you think?
I'm seeing I'm having a different thought. Maybe from what you have said, the president might find out a new producer. Maybe they have found a new producer other than the one we were using. Maybe they, because he has been in China. There are many things he has done in China. Maybe the Chinese are promising him now, we are going to give you at a lower cost. So he has decided to abandon the initial producer. That one can be a reason. Number two, there are people who have been given free motorbikes, free posho mills, free car wash machines, and others argue, okay, if you are given freely, but me, I'm being subjected to purchase, or I'm subjected to deposit for a loan, why can't I be given free? Those debates can be there, outside there, the common people, and say, okay, you are given free, but me, I'm subjected to buy. So those things also, you must settle them. Why some people are given free, some people are being subjected to purchase. At the same time, maybe the producers change. That can be the case.
Yeah, like I now get what you're saying. For example, there are those who are getting it through empowerment, a group coming together, they're being empowered and they're given money to purchase one, yet the other group is being told now you have to pay. Okay, that one makes sense, but it's quite much complex, especially the way the president says it. But now the only problem that we might be facing, or the only problem, or with the time, we might know whether it will be actualization of this, because like we've had so many promises that president has made that maybe they're still in the pipeline. Remember the gas, I just mentioned it here earlier. Remember where he talked about was it in Nakuru, about the car something, nyumba itajengwa Nairobi kama ya New York. So there are so many promises that president has made. Okay, that was
alisema mushawaona gari nakimbia kama risasi.
Nakumbuka hiyo vizuri sana. So hiyo pia ipo, lakini labda tu, lakini what I'm realizing, especially for the longest time, or for the few time we've been in politics, and we've looked at how the political class, especially, or the political class are carrying out their political move. I think president has just decided to go back to his tactics, whereby he used to call especially invite people to his home, talk with them, because like look at how many groups has president invited in State House just to talk with them, and it's all about empowerment, so many of them. And that one goes back to when he was the deputy president in Karen home and his home in Sugoi. President used to invite so many people and talk about on what they are going to do. So I don't think that this is just but one of those strategies, and this is how to neutralize the opposition. And I told you earlier, if you're very keen, you look at how president has been working with the Professor Kindiki. Yeah, because Kindiki has been on the empowerment trail, yeah, and giving out money. I've never seen him giving less than $1 million. And you look at, even if he's a good business person, because let's take for instance, deputy goes for empowerment program for women in a week. let's give is approximately three days, right? That is 3 days in a week. Yeah. So when you give 3 days in a day, give is maximum. Let's say that the minimum he can give is 1 million. So which means in a week he gives 3 million. Yeah. In a month he gives 12 million. Yeah. That's 12 million. That is approximate. We're not saying that that is the accurate. 12 million. So when you look at 12 million that the deputy president gives in a month, if you look at what the deputy is earning, maybe he has a thriving business, but you wonder how can his business thrive in an economy whereby everybody is complaining, you know, and he can produce 12 million just only in a month. So inamaanisha deputy president akona, because like this is a personal donation, because this money is not budgeted anywhere, is not budgeted because they said that is empowerment and is the one that they're using their money, and even to members of parliament who are doing that. So it means they have a lot of money, or they are doing businesses that is assisting them to fund this empowerment. Or what is your take?
We can assume that maybe the DP is damn rich, that is a businessman, and also is doing great in business, and we can assume that one because he has been insisting that those are his own money, personal money, not from the government. But which type of business? Even Safaricom, the artificial person, Safaricom, the company, cannot donate such amount of money on a weekly basis. They cannot do that one. And Safaricom is one of the richest company in Kenya. So I'm very specific. The company, the artificial person, the person who has been created. What about the normal person like me, ordinary person, who is not artificial person? Safaricom is an artificial person in the company. Company is an artificial person who operate independently, artificially. But the ordinary person who is breathing cannot handle such things. The ordinary person cannot do such business. So to me, that money does not belong to Kindiki. Kindiki is lying to us. He knows very well. He knows very well where he's getting that money. And he should just be honest. He's a professor of law. You need to be very honest with people. And I don't want to say many things personal, but I know him that he's a good person. Let him be honest and tell you that actually this empowerment money is just your taxpayers' money. I'm trying to entice you so that you can vote for us in 2027. But this issue of his personal money, because even in the rating of the richest people in Kenya, Kindiki does not appear even top 5.
Yeah, and that is a conversation that people are, especially like, and it's something that we need to discuss about, especially the life of Professor Kindiki as the deputy president. When the history of this country will be written, and on his face, what will people say about him as a deputy president? Remember, his appointment too, is one of the leaders that actually was appointed, was not elected by the people. He was appointed by the president. And this was due to the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua. That's why he came on board as appointed. And now, when even you look at how now he operates, and the way even president operate with Kindiki is quite much different with how the presidents and their deputies have operated. Remember, when President William Ruto and Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta came into power, they shared majority of the podiums, the rallies, they would go together. The same happened with Rigathi Gachagua with President William Ruto. But along the way, there was that disagreement, especially between them. So, and now President also has changed tact on how he is managing his itinerary by himself. I don't see him together with the deputy president. The deputy president is doing empowerment, as president is continue also to play his part. So president has played it bright, and I tell you, president knows how to do the politics in a way that you cannot sometimes pin him down, because like right now, president is sending the money. Nobody talks about the empowerment, because like the empowerment that is right now in the country is in the face of Deputy President Kithure Kindiki is the face of that empowerment. And the president is not even featured anywhere in those empowerment, apart from little the contribution that he usually sends. And what do you say about that?
I get your point. I get your point very well. President, I can say Kasongo, this is how he mastered the politics of the country. You know, when they were fighting Uhuru and Raila, he used to put Rigathi Gachagua in front to abuse Uhuru, but he was not abusing Uhuru. So when things turn the way they were, so people are blaming Gachagua. Why were you abusing Uhuru? But Kasongo used to send him. Like right now, he's using Ishungwa to attack Gachagua. So when they will come back together, as I've told you, they will say, okay, it was never me, it was Ishungwa who was abusing you. What is doing right now? He's using Kindiki to empower people so that when we will ask for accountability, you say, no, me, I never, did you see me empowering anybody? Me, I never gave out Kenyan money to people like empowerment. That was the team of the deputy president. Me, I was in the office of the executive. So to me, I can just agree with that, Mr. President. You understand, he's using people. He always use people. Like right now, he's using Raila through expert. Now he say, okay, no, I was not holding treasury. They were the experts who were donated, but the one who were holding treasuries and energy and mining and corporates. So we were not featuring there. So I get your point very clearly that yeye ni mtu anakaa nyuma yako, anakuwa mbele, unafanya vitu, then baadaye when it's convenient for him, he can work with his enemies because he understands very well that in politics there is no permanent enemy. So you don't need to create enemies as you are working with your people. If you work with the people, allow your allies to do for you those dirty works, so that when it's convenient for you to work in future, you can use your enemy to work with. That one is working for him. I can tell you that one is working for him. But the bottom line is he is the same Ruto who lied to people in 2022. He has just camouflage through empowerment, and he has camouflage through motorbike people. But it's the same things he said. There is no difference.
Okay, thank you. You know, at the end of the day, this is what I usually say. At the end of the day, it's politics, and you know, it's the voters to decide on what they want to do, and each and every politicians have their strategies on how they can get the voters on their side, especially both the president and the opposition. Now, let's come to opposition, because there's some saying in the street that the opposition, especially when you look at the Matiangi, the Kalonzo, and the Honorable Martha Karua, especially when it comes to them coming together. And people tend to believe that Honorable Rigathi Gachagua has taken the dominance, especially in the opposition, and that one makes other parties or other principal to be very wary. Like they are not very they are worried, kind of. That is some of the things that people are saying on the street. I don't know whether it is political or it's something that is happening. Do you see the dominance, especially in opposition, when you take a picture of Rigathi Gachagua, or when you have him?
I believe that when Raila left to join government, there are some people who are left behind, like Kalonzo, the likes of Kioni and Eugene. So when Gachagua was impeached, Gachagua quickly take up the role, because Gachagua was hitting Kasongo directly, and it was very personal. And he was even sometimes accusing him things like land grabbing, accusing him of purchasing a bank, accusing him of all sorts of things. So Gachagua just take over from what Raila used to do. Raila used to critique the government based on those issues like land grabbing, corruption, the issue of employment, whereby there was no inclusion. Gachagua also took that role and tried to attack the regime. And by that time, you understand, the regime was very unpopular. And people, anybody who could have come out and attack could have could have dominated. So it is true. Gachagua dominated, and Gachagua take over from Raila, and also he overtook people like Kalonzo and Eugene. And that's why right now, the Jubilee are saying, okay, our candidate is Raila Odinga. Because Gachagua is taking everything from opposition. Now, what do? You must bring somebody here. So they're trying to bring Raila back to opposition through Jubilee. That Raila will say, it is not me. Raila also is a master of politics. Raila also is a master of politics. Even if he is a master, Raila also is doing this thing. Raila is working with the phone and other people. So that Raila will say, okay, we the ODM people, we are supporting government as expert and whatever. But the Jubilee people want me to run. What do? It is the Jubilee who wants me, not me. I am having a good rapport with the president, with my party. But now the pressure is coming from the Jubilee. The Jubilee are ready to support me. So it's the other way, it's trying to make it look like he can run, he can support Ruto. So even him is undecided.
But if you look at opposition, should the other partners get worried about him due to the fact that how he carries out himself and how he does his way of politics? Because let us agree, ever since Rigathi Gachagua left, we've not seen, especially like we've never seen Wiper or the party of Martha Karua or DPAK for Eugene Wamalwa having public rally. We've seen Cleophas Malala with Medhu going to public rally, especially after churches. But like we see so much silence, especially on the other political parties, and that one sends this silent message that that there is a collapse somewhere, or there is a disconnect, a slight disconnect in all of them, because like it could have been okay if they keep on having their rallies together as they used to have when Rigathi Gachagua was there, and you could see how they used to pull crowds. But now since Rigathi is not there, we've not seen Kalonzo Musyoka having a rally. We've not seen even Eugene Wamalwa having a rally. Is that one showing the disconnect in the united opposition?
First, I want to give Gachagua a thumbs up. And Gachagua, from my view, since he was impeached, Gachagua has made very significant moves. And Gachagua is moving very fast, unlike other people, because Gachagua has really tried to organize himself to be opposition, and also he has tried to be dominant. At the same time, he has taken over from Kalonzo and Eugene, and also he has created his own political party, mobilized registration, and also he has had some rallies before. He has hit president directly. Some people are just trying to hit indirectly, and he has also currently is outside mobilizing, meeting people, having town hall meetings, a one-on-one with the diaspora, and also making support. So he's someone who is busy, in my view, someone who is determined, someone who understands what he wants and knows what exactly he wants to be. So to me, I cannot rate him in the league of Kalonzo and Eugene. He has overtaken them. And also I can say that he also seen, Matiangi was called. So Matiangi joined him abroad. So he understand that, he want to work with Matiangi, in my view, because he understand that anything can happen. So in case Kalonzo can bolt out or Eugene, with him, he's determined, he's ready to go with whoever want to work with him. And he can actually do it. That is his main focus. So I even whether he's going to have majority of the lawmakers or governors, whatever he want to do with the people, that's up to him. But I can say he has really tried as a man to be where he is right now, because people thought that once he's impeached, it'll be a forgone case. But it's not a forgone case. People in government they usually talked about him in each and every rally. I can say that now, even Raila coming to opposition, now you understand the Jubilee, to me, Jubilee might not work with Gachagua based on some issues, because it's a threat. to Jubilee Party. So maybe they want to bring Raila to try to neutralize opposition in their view. But so far, I can say Gachagua has done a very good work in terms of a politician. From the time he was impeached date.
You know the reason, and Joseph, I hope you're doing fine. Just to say hi, asante sana kwa kuja kutusalimia. Ndugu yangu, unajua when you look at even how Malala really acted on Malava case, you know, where Injendi was, you know, whereby he called out on the DP, the party for Eugene Wamalwa, that this is a Bukusu party, and people are feeling that this is you want to bulldoze and say that DCP has to be here, you know, and you're opposition. Why can't you just have sit down, some quiet place, and you agree as a united opposition, knowing very well that okay, let's give it, because like, if you listen to the politics of Rigathi Gachagua, you want to first of all consolidate your region so that you come for bargaining. And we know that the party for Eugene is from Western Kenya, you know, and the way they were trying, the Malala was trying, and that was what people are saying, that okay, the position might collapse when people take such like stand, you know, like you bulldoze other partners in a coalition or in an unformed, you know, coalition.
I don't think that it can collapse, because we were being taught that power is like a woman. You know, a woman you have to grab. Without grabbing a woman, you will end up not marrying. So power, when you are within a position, you have to fight for your space. So if the DAPK cannot fight for their space, they have not said that if their DCPA is fighting them, it is up to them to come and fight. So if they can't fight within, then the weaker person will lose and the stronger person will emerge. So to me, I can just say that it's not a matter of this. We will discuss about unity later, but for now, let us take Malava. You understand? That's how people, we will talk those things like unity, like opposition united. We can discuss them towards 2027. But for now, what we have is the by-election for the Malava. Let us take this one, we keep in our basket, then we can discuss those issues of unity, flag bearer, running mate as we approach 2027. For now, it's not about 2027 and about running mate and about uniting opposition. For now, we are talking about a Malava constituency by election, a one constituency. So if you can take it, the better. So to me, I just say that Eugene and the team should not be weak. The more they are weak, the more they will not even get a running mate position. That's why I say people like Gachagua are very trickster. They have come with the force, everything. They are brutal. They want to take over, and they're likely going to take over.
Okay, thank you so much, my brother, for your time, and I really appreciate you being on the show, and we will come back here tomorrow at around 6:30 to discuss about the issues that are going on. And I'm seeing a report that James Orengo is yet back in the country. He came back on Tuesday night, and this has been reported by the Star. That is something that I remember. The issue of Orengo has become something of national concern, with rumors going out that these were unconfirmed. I would say that, because we did not see any documentation to show that he had poison. That was what the rumors that were going around. And you know Siaya very well, that the leadership of Siaya, he's at crossroad, because like even the deputy governor is not in good terms with the party, and that one has made him be out in the country, you know. I mean, like out in touch with the CIA. We are also will be watching keenly about the burial of Dr. Phoebe Asio, who the body arrived home in Homa Bay County today. And I think the burial is going to be on... When is the burial? Burial is going to be on Saturday or tomorrow? No, it cannot be on Saturday.
It cannot be on Saturday, depending on the religion. I think tomorrow.
Yeah, so the burial will be the burial will be there tomorrow, and hopefully, from the look of things, Sifuna yesterday said that he's not going to attend the burial. He might not attend. That is what Sifuna said.
He might not attend, because if he could have attended, kungekuwa moto manze.
Ni kama is a marked man there. Kulingana na anaenda kinyume na sheria, anaenda kinyume na matarajio ya wengi ambao wako katika chama cha ODM. Miguda, tu nikumbushe watu wetu ni kwamba ile project yetu tarehe tumepata already. Tutakuwa maeneo hayo tarehe 7 mwezi wa 10. Na bado tunashukuru wale ambao walitusaidia sana kuchanga vitu. Sasa ziko tunaziandaa na tutawaletea kitu ambacho sisi wenyewe tutakuwa tumefanya. Miguda, also remind everybody that right now we are also doing streaming of events. We are trying our level best. We've not reached a place whereby we can say that we are the best, but we are still young in the field. So if you have any events that you want us to assist you to stream live, just don't hesitate to contact us. We will try to give you better service, if not better, but because we are still very young in the field. So ile kadogo kuja tu tujaribu, sisi pia tunajua tutakupatia kwa bei nafuu ili tujaribu kusoma na kuendelea. Asante sana kwa wale ambao walikuwa wanatutazama. Kesho tutakutana hapa hapa na mimi na ndugu yangu Miguda. Miguda, labda kama uko na jambo la mwisho labda unaweza sema. Haya, Miguda, una la kusema? Okay, kinakaa Miguda hana la kusema. Kwa hivyo tuonaneni tena kesho kwa majaliwa yake Mwenyezi Mungu, na mkuwe na jioni njema ama usiku mzuri kulingana na paliwe ambao upo unatusikiliza ama unatutazama. Asanteni sana, Mungu awabariki.